Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Building Your Life podcast. And today we have another really exciting guest. I'm excited about it because she knows things that I know, frankly, not that much about. And we're going to talk about a lot of things that have to do with some of your personal life, but also how to build your life if you are a small or mid-sized business owner, how you can make sure that you are not forgetting about the fact that that income that you have or that customer base you have might not always be there for the rest of your life. And she's fantastic. Sue Schuster is her name. And I am not going to try and introduce you, Sue. I'm going to let you do that yourself. So tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and more importantly, why you do it.
Sure. I'm Sue Schuster. I'm with Profit Touring. I have the hat of a business coach that focuses on corporate credit and accelerating your profit. My journey is out of the small business world. I used to own a swim school for 20 years. We started it, we being me and my family, started it, built it, grew it to almost 2,000 kids a week in swim lessons. We were doing
Wow.
very, very well. And then COVID hit and we actually did better. So COVID either made you more successful or less, but we did very well out of that. But also that made us very tired and that we had to reinvent the business so many times as everything changed with COVID and really took a toll on my parents. And as they were getting up in age, we decided to sell the business to a bigger corporation. I decided to leave the business after that and got my financial certifications, my SIE, my Series 6, my Series 63, in the life insurance type field and variable annuities and everything else there. And then I got really to know what the business was about and did not really enjoy some of it. So I left that and I put my business hat, what I had learned from doing everything from my craft to marketing to payroll to everything else. And then what I learned from the financial world and what I learned from my extensive background in sports. And I wanted to put it all together. And I found Profit Train, and they helped me become a business coach and taught me a ton of tools that I had wish I had known as a business owner. Because my story might have been different if I had known, but I didn't know. So now my mission is to teach Main Street, what Wall Street already knows, and to utilize their corporate credit to get them the funding they need on their EIN number and not personally guarantee things anymore, and to have many, many more resources that I never had just with the large network I do have.
Yeah, there's a lot of things there, and I want to. We may have to do two podcasts there, Sue, because there's so many things to unpack there, and you've got some similarities to my story and where where I came from Wall Street. And so where do we start? What I kind of like to do is first of all, the idea that you were clearly an entrepreneur and you then sold, right? Because it was the right thing for you to do. Your parents who were helping you with the business had gotten to that point in their lives where we all will get eventually where we may love what we do, but we just get a little bit more tired. I know as I get older, when I get up in the morning, a few things hurt a little bit more than they did the day before. And even when we're healthy and we move and everything else, eventually we want to slow down, if not just stop altogether. And that we talk about that a lot when we talk about building your best life using the tool we have money. But tell me a little bit about that merger or rather acquisition process and maybe lessons learned. And you said you're not really involved with the business anymore, or you are a little bit.
Um, I don't want to talk about that because there is legal implications.
Sure.
So there's still issues.
Right.
So the process went, my parents were in their 70s. Now they're in their 80s, and they were very, very scared to sell the business because they had heard from other people that once they left their business, then they left their purpose, and then they pretty much died.
Mm.
Like just happened that way. And they were very nervous about that. And they didn't want to lose control. Well, we didn't want to lose control of the business, and they kind of didn't want it lingering around either. So we got a broker and started to fish around for people to buy our school. And we had found a bunch of people because it's definitely happening in the swim school industry that bigger swim schools, bigger corporations have found out that owning a swim school is a lucrative thing to do and you can make money at it. So people who have no business being in the swim school world are now in the swim school world. So we went and found somebody that we thought we had synergy with, that was going to grow the company, is going to take it places that we couldn't take it, that we didn't know how, or we didn't have the energy to take it to those places. And I thought personally that I wouldn't be stuck in this little school that we had created and loved and grew and nurtured and everything else, that I could be part of a bigger picture. So we sold in 2022. And I thought I was going to kind of move up the chain and learn new things and uh, everything that they had promised, that things would stay the same, um, that it wouldn't be corporate, it would still have the love of a mom and pop shop
Mhm.
and have the same mission and everything else. Well, they said maybe something will change in 5 years, whatever. Well, 6 months later, they are literally changing everything. They changed our curriculum. They changed how we did the lessons. They changed our scheduling program. They changed who was in charge, how we talked to people, our payroll, everything. Um, and I said, this is no longer the business that I love and know. So I decided to leave. And it literally it's getting to be almost 3 years now, and it's still painful. It is still painful. I probably, hindsight's 2020, but then my parents, I look at them and they are literally living their best life. They're doing whatever they want to do. They have the money to do whatever they want to do. They are helping me out. They're helping my children out. They're helping the other grandchildren out. Um, so they're having a fantastic time. I'm the one who's struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things there. I want to go back and sort of unpack or point out to folks that might be considering you know, doing an acquisition because maybe they're getting a little bit tired or they've just got a situation where they need to maybe not work as hard on the business. And I think the number one thing that you pointed out, you started talking about your parents and wanting to wanting to do something else, wanting to do it, but being afraid that they wouldn't live their best life because they've heard this thing where you retire and you die, right? It's like that does not have to be the case. And again, that's where it really goes back to build a life, not a portfolio. The money is just the tool. It's very important. But the first thing you concentrate on is, well, what is your life really going to look like once you do step away? And it sounds like they were able to find that. And now they're living their best life, which is fantastic. And I don't want people to be all petrified about losing their purpose. Because if you truly understand your purpose and your what you want your life to be, and more importantly, why you want it to be that way, you're not going to be miserable in retirement. You're going to really have the golden years. I truly believe that's possible. And it sounds like your parents are the perfect example.
Yeah, they're doing I mean, I have a picture of we did a retirement party for my mother. And I have a picture. I just said, "Mom, give me the I don't know." And she gave me the I don't know, and I took a picture of it and it ended up in the slides. And actually I've used it in other talks on women in business because we're our own little thing because we've got other challenges, just being a female and a parent and a mother in business. Not to take away from the dads out there, but it's just different.
Thank you. It
Um,
is different.
it is different. So they were kind of prepared-ish that they knew what they wanted to do. They wanted to travel more. They've done that. They're still relatively healthy, although my dad is at the point in his life he's now replacing parts like his hip and other
Yes.
things. Um, but yeah, they were prepared. They knew what they wanted to do. They had the finances to do it. Um, and they had a support system besides just family. that was super important to them, to people of their own age that are going through the same thing, um, that they could lean on a bit. And lots through the country club or through the activities that they still do. Like, for instance, my mom, who's heavy into swimming, is now a guide for a paddling company that they take out middle schoolers on the water and paddle, and she gets to do that. She does hearing tests for kindergartners. She's now part of Wildlands Conservancy, so she's out there doing all the time. My dad is more the golfer and the pumpkin grower, and manages the 529 plans for all the grandchildren, which he has a fantastic time doing, and he still has his spreadsheets, whether it's how fast the pumpkin's growing or the 529 plan, but he still has his fun thing of spreadsheets. But yes, they are living their best life.
Sorry about the phone call there, but so that I mean, I think that that's the lesson that I take from that is never stop doing
No,
and
learn,
don't sit down.
do.
Don't sit down
Don't
and
sit
stay
down.
down,
Don't sit
right?
down on the couch and eat your bonbons, which I don't know exist anymore. But and watch TV. No, they are out and going and doing and still living in the same house and doing whatever they want to do. And now they
Right.
share a lot of that with the grandchildren. Us children, we got skipped. But the
Of
grandchildren
course.
are
They
having a
already they
fantastic
spent
time.
at least 18 years on you guys, so it's time for the grandchildren. I have
Ah,
grandchildren now, so hey, grandchildren are fantastic because you can spoil them rotten and then give them back for the consequences to be the parents.
well, yes, but now my children are both adults, and I will soon
Okay.
be an empty nester. And the one is about to graduate from college early from a small school. Another one is just starting her SEC experience in the fall. So she's going big time
Wow.
school, and we have to get her there in a month, which is scary.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. But the other thing too that I wanted to talk a little bit about, got your parents and sort of finding their purpose and not losing their purpose in retirement. That's important. And then we've got this idea that when you do an acquisition, understand. So you're looking to maybe sell or do something like that. Just understand that it will not be the same. It is highly unlikely, in my experience, for your business to stay the same. No matter what they say during the negotiation, the person that put down and paid that money is going to want to change things. And they're not likely, again, in my experience, and maybe that's not the experience of someone else, they're likely to change it in a way that you don't like. And they very well may move away from the mission that you have. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. It might still be the right thing for you, but understand that that is likely to happen. And the other thing that I learned when I did some of these things is that when I was at Morgan Stanley, nobody broke a contract. That was not a thing because Morgan Stanley had an army of lawyers and nobody was going to do that. When I do a contract as a small business owner, as John Browning, it's actually fairly common. And again, this is in my experience, that contracts are broken or significantly changed despite what people say. You just need to understand that and make sure you protect yourself and make sure that you're ready to have that happen. That's a big lesson that I think we can pass on today's
Right.
podcast.
I'll echo that. I would say don't try to stay on with your business and be a minority owner, because it's just frustrating because they will change things and you don't have much of a say. And then trying to get out of the contract can be very sticky. So that's and when you leave, I would just leave. And hopefully you vetted the person that they are going to continue with your mission and everything else. Um, but when they don't, and they probably won't, um, you're still, I mean, you can't keep your business forever. It's
Right.
got to go to somebody. And if you don't have the systems and you don't, if your business is just you do everything, then you don't have a business to sell. So you've grown something that you can't get rid of because your business is you. So that's my um, business coaching hat that says we have to put systems and put it in a book and your operation manual and everything else. But if you do have a business to sell, then congratulations. It's just like a kid who can go off to college and be their own person and do their own thing, but they're going to be different from you. So just be
Right.
prepared for that. And if you can sell your business, good on you. You did a great job. Just like if your kid goes off and is a successful adult, then good on you. You did a good job. But you can't hold on to things forever. But just don't be tied up with them when you leave. My suggestion.
Yeah. And it's a great transition because I wanted to get into this too about I speak with small, mid-sized businesses on a regular basis, and I try and help them understand that uh, their business is not necessarily their retirement plan. It can be a part of it, but there are things to remember, like when you sell that business, it is highly likely that you'll make a profit, which is a good thing, but that also means you have a big tax liability. And the way that you get paid for that business matters. And the way that you prepare to sell that business can significantly lower your tax liability. There's all sorts of things that go into it, which is where somebody like yourself, a business coach, can really help. Somebody like myself, I can really help as well, but there's more people than me. I like to build a team of experts around my clients because I don't know everything about all this stuff. I do know how to ask the right questions and get you started down the road and introduce you to the right people. But the idea that your business is your retirement plan, that's it, might be a really bad idea. And so I wanted to throw that out there, and I wanted to see if maybe you had a couple things that you maybe could share with us about how you help people sort of prepare for that thing, because so many people are just like, oh, my business is worth $10 million. Well, let's do a little math, because your acquisition partner is going to do the math. And let's talk about how maybe it is, but maybe you haven't prepared in a way that really makes it worth that.
So with the tri-touring family, we have a bunch of pillars, one of which is a business evaluation. So we can do a proper business evaluation. And when we're getting ready to exit a business, we should do a few. We should do one now and look at it and say, is this the money you thought it was? Well, no, it's not enough. Like I can't retire on that, is the what we get. And well, then maybe we should invest some time in the business, grow the profit, maybe get rid of something, get better systems, everything in place. And then we'll revisit in 6 months, a year. Maybe that number will be, well, if they work with us, it would definitely be better. But we want the number to be better. So we do a business evaluation. Another thing we can do is establish corporate credit, which actually is on the business itself and becomes an asset. So when you do an asset sale instead of a cash sale, the credit line of credit or whatever they have can go with the business. You can use it twofold. So they already have a line of credit that they can put money into the business to expand it, whatever they're going to change it to, because they're going to change it. Or they could use it to help purchase the business. And that works really well in partners as well. If one wants to leave and one wants to stay, you can't go personally guarantee the loan because you wanted to leave. It's like getting a loan and paying yourself. That doesn't make any sense. So we'd have the business get a loan and then they can pay a partner so that they can leave. Um, but yeah, definitely. And you don't know what's something worth. Something is worth how much somebody else will pay at the time they're going to pay for it. So is it good timing? Is it bad timing? Um, so yeah, you have to have a whole portfolio, and this would just be a part of it. And again, some businesses, I know for some lawyers out there, they can't sell it at all. They don't sell the business. They might give their clients to somebody else, or I was working in the financial industry and I was a captive agent. I could not sell my business because the
Mm-hmm.
business was owned by the agency. So some of us don't even have a business to sell.
Right. It feels like we do, but we actually don't. Yeah.
Right.
This is another reason that we are independent here at Guardian Rock Wealth, where we do own everything about that, but that also comes with a lot of risks and a lot of work. And you're up against enormous $1 trillion corporations that clearly have more resources than you. However, they may not be able to do what is the right thing for their clients simply because they're part of that big corporation.
Right. They can't be
Uh,
as agile and pivot and everything else, and not usually not as creative either.
Correct. Right. That was one of the big frustrations, and it tends to be one of the big frustrations with those who are, say, in that 50 to 60 range, and they're becoming or want to become a corporate escapee, I call them. And they want to get out. They're tired of not being able to be creative, and they start to realize how much better they could do things if they weren't tied up in committees and politics and everything else. So then they escape from corporate, and now we're seeing more and more small businesses with very experienced, highly talented people out there. And I encourage you, if you're one of those people listening to the podcast out here that you're thinking about that, you want to call Sue. Sue, what is the best way to get in contact with you? We'll have it down in the show notes. It's going to be there. What's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
So my email, which is S Schuster, so my first initial last name at profitturing.ai. So PROT. Well, now I have to spell it. So profit and then Turing, TURING.ai. You can also just call me 610-844-3159. That's my business line. It also gets texts. So you can call me there as well. Or find me
And
on LinkedIn and Facebook to any of those things.
yeah, LinkedIn and Facebook also great. LinkedIn, I find that if you're not using LinkedIn as a professional, you're missing out on a lot of information and great people. But I think the key thing there, when you just mentioned that, you gave your phone number, you gave
Right.
your personal email. And what that tells me is that you are very much like myself and Guardian Rock, where it's fine. Yeah, we get a lot of emails, we get a lot of phone calls, and we will still take your call. If you want help, we will take your call. Those of you who are regular listeners to the podcast, you can get in touch with me at guardianrockwealth.com. There's a contact us section. There is a ton of free information. If you don't want to talk to me, you just want to get information, that's out there. Or you can text the word life to 321-421-5213. Just the word life, and you get all kinds of free information. And no, I will not inundate you with a bunch of texts after that. That's not something I do. I just want to have you have all the links and the free information that's there. But a wealth of information, Sue, on that. I want to talk more and maybe go deeper, maybe on the next podcast. We need to reschedule because this one's going to get too long, but about corporate credit,
Right.
how that can work for you, not against you, and how to avoid some of the issues, particularly with, I'm just going to say it out there because I don't think that's a bad thing. The SBA can be a very good tool, but you need to be absolutely aware of the risks involved with an SBA loan. It is not the um, nirvana, it's not heaven on earth. And there are things that most people don't understand. And I want you to help me unpack that for those business owners looking to maybe get started. And maybe there's another way. Maybe there's a better way to prepare. So that's
There,
going to be our next podcast, I think.
yeah, let me just give them a little teaser on that.
Okay.
So if you don't want to personally guarantee things anymore and have your credit hit every time that you try to get money for your business, and you don't want to put up your house, your um, retirement, your kids' college fund, and you want to have your business money and your personal money completely separate, along with the risks of those, that's what corporate credit can do.
And that is available. I mean, it people think that there's just no way to do it. There are ways to do things and
I have three
accomplish your
ways to do it.
dreams. Yeah, there we go. And we're
Yes.
gonna we're gonna do another podcast. It should come out right after this one. And we're going to talk to people about that. So thank you so much for being on the podcast today. Really appreciate the time and sharing, kind of your experience. People like to hear that. They like to hear that somebody's been through it, done that, no t-shirt probably, but you've been there, done that,
I
you've
don't want
learned
that
stuff.
t-shirt. I don't want it.
You've learned stuff and you're willing to share it with people if they're willing to listen in. And
Yep,
you've even given your email and phone number that people can contact you. And I'm sure in an initial conversation, it's not like you're like, give me your credit card the first time. You'll
no,
share some value
of course.
that they can take away and use. And you're not going to try and sell them something. You're just going to try and help. So
Right.
I
If they
really
can use
appreciate
my
that.
help, great. If they just take the knowledge and try to do it on their own, then great too.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will see everybody next time. Sue, we're going to do another recording and I'll see you next time on the next recording. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you again in a couple of weeks.